Around the country, there are more buyers than sellers, and housing inventory continues to drop. I'm Eric Engelbert with Orange County Real Estate, and today we're going to look at the data for the last 7 days here in Orange County, see if there's any trends or anything outstanding that we need to talk about. Last week, there was an outlier, and that was homes were selling for 10% more than the list price, which was kind of crazy in this downward market that we're supposedly having. This week, we're back to normal, 1.8% less. Homes are selling for 1.8% less than the list price. So as we get into this data, if you're considering selling a house, this data is important to you. You want to know what the days on market are for your exact neighborhood. That will set your expectations for selling. Also, you want to look at why some homes sold in just a few days or a week versus others that are listed for 100 days. So if you are considering selling and you want this data for a very specific neighborhood, it's easy for us to get that data. Just reach out and we'll send it over to you so you know what's going on very specifically in your area. If you are considering buying, we find off-market properties every week. Make sure you're on our list so you get that information also. That can give you a little bit of an advantage over other buyers. All right, let's jump right into the data. And our first slide is our inventory slide. And here you can see that inventory went up just a little bit. It's pretty much the same, but we had a little bit of an increase, 2,301 in Orange County. That's for all residential properties. In the United States, for single family homes, we went down again. So a good sized drop there. It's just continuing to go down all year, which is the opposite of what people expected. So that's an interesting thing that we're going to keep an eye on. All right, under contracts and pendings here in Orange County, that went down slightly, stayed, just a slight drop in there, but still over 1,800. And then we had 500 new listings in the last 7 days and 445 new closings, sold properties. So that's 100 up on both of those. Those are good activity. That's why our total inventory went up a little bit, because we had 500 new listings. That was probably the most we had in a week this year. All right, the next slide is our days on market slide. You can see our days on market this week is still good all the way down. Median days on market 33, average days on market 63. That's all residential properties in Orange County. And then under $1 million is 31, $1 million to $2 million is 31, and over $2 million only 47. So still really strong buyer demand there. That's what those numbers are telling us. It's not taking a long time for homes to sell, so that's good for buyers. Those are healthy numbers. When it was in the 10s and the 20s, that was kind of unhealthy. When we had so many immediate sales, that was difficult for buyers. And that was when we had so much overbidding. All right, the next slide is our key stats. The OC median, the single family home list price went up slightly. The condo list price stayed the same. And this is a stat here now, sold price versus list price, 1.8% less. Last week, that was 7.5% higher for all properties, but 10.3% for single family homes higher. So that was an anomaly, which we're happy to see that, because we don't feel like that overbidding is healthy for the market and very difficult for buyers and even sellers. All right, OC immediate sales, that went up slightly too. So these are homes that accepted an offer in the first 2 days of being listed. That's up to 4.3%. That again shows us that buyer demand is high. And the median price of closed homes in the last 7 days, 1.159. And that's single family homes. That's not including the condo data or townhouses. Just single family homes. So that's gone up just a little bit. We're going to keep an eye on this over the next few months and see if there's going to be any downward trend in values. We are not seeing that here in Orange County, not yet. And personally, I don't think we're going to see it. I know there's some predictions for the country to see it, but the average average home price for homes in the country has stayed steady or even ticked up a little bit a few weeks in a row. But there are some markets that are hurting. Again, last week we talked about San Francisco. There are other markets around the country where values have come down a little bit. They had a lot of people moving there from out of state. They had a lot of investor business, but both of those have gone away. Investors have held back right now. There's not a lot of investor home buying, and there's not a ton of people moving to these areas at the moment. Still a lot of the country's covered in snow. So that could be slowing things down. All right, let's jump to the next slide, and this is just a snapshot of Costa Mesa so you can see what the data would look like for an entire city. Again, we can narrow this down to just a neighborhood. We can go back a whole year, 2 years, 3 years. But in this case, we're just gonna look at the Costa Mesa data, and it's very similar to Orange County as a whole. The average list price, 1.675. Average days on market is 38. Price reductions, only 25%. That's low, which is good. You know, came down. Last week it was at 35% actually. So this has been coming down a little bit every week. So that's showing us that there is more demand here in Costa Mesa. Relisted, that's only one that stayed the same from last week. That's sub property that was in escrow, fell out for some reason, and then had to be relisted. Total inventory, we sold 2 different ones last week, and we sold more than that, but the inventory changed by 2. All right, the next slide is our condo data. Condo and townhouses, the average list price went up again a little bit. So this is a big number, you know, that's why our days on market is pretty high, 49 days, which that was a big drop from last week because we sold, you know, we sold a couple that had been on the market for a while. But also this price is pretty high. That's why our days on market's higher than the county average, especially for condos and townhomes. 7 of them have price reductions that stay the same. There's only 1 that's been relisted, and total inventory is 23. All right, well, that's all the data. If there's any data points that you'd like to see, I can add to these slides. If you think it's important, please let me know. You can leave a note in the comments below, or feel free to reach out with a call, text, or email. All right, thanks for watching. Have a great week.